Hi everyone. I'm jumping on live because this is about the time of year where I go through and I create a new marketing plan. In the past few years, I haven't really had to change it a lot because what I was doing was working, and my caseload was really stable and really full. Now, this coming year, I'm going to be expanding my caseload and taking on a few extra clients, growing some things, making new offerings and things in my therapy practice, getting new certifications, stuff like that. So I'm building out my marketing plan a bit more this year. And it's funny because, I talk to a lot of my one-on-one coaching clients about this, and often they feel confused. Like, what is it? What do I write? I don't quite understand what I put down. How do I do this? And so there's often some confusion, maybe even some avoidance because I don't know how to do it. I don't want to deal with that. And I actually found some of my own feelings, that same feeling coming up. So I figured I would pop on here live and just share a little bit about my thought process and how I approach creating a marketing plan for myself. So the first thing that I think about is active versus passive marketing strategies. Passive marketing strategies are things that you set up once and they kind of work for you. Publishing a website is kind of like that, right? You put it up and then you do the things you need to do with it, and then hopefully it works for you. Directories are similar to that, right? You set them up and then it does the work for you. Then there are active strategies. I consider networking an active marketing strategy. So it's something that you regularly have to put energy into. Building social media profiles, that and engagement, that is an active strategy. It's something you have to do on a regular basis, a recurring basis, actively. And there are some strategies that can be mixed. For example, even with your directory profiles, for example, you might set it up, but maybe you have ongoing activities like changing the zip codes out, or making small edits, or updating the pictures like every so often. And recurring activities can be weekly, they can be daily, they can be monthly, or even quarterly, or things like that. And so there are sort of these one-time activities that we might revisit once a year or do once and be done. And then there are these ongoing activities at different frequencies. So that's the first piece of creating a marketing plan for me, is identifying sort of the passive versus active. And even within those, like say for example my website, my passive marketing strategy of my website might have an active component to it as well, like blogging. Or what I might do is regularly monitor traffic trends and make adjustments to keywords and things like that. So that's an active activity on a passive strategy. So how I like to do this is I like to make a list of the sort of overarching strategies that I'm either using or thinking of using. And then under each of those things, I like to list either the one-time or recurring activities that I do with regard to that thing. So if I'm thinking about like my directories, for example, if I have a Psychology Today directory, setting it up is a one-time activity. I've already done that. Maybe I have a new specialty, and so I need to write a new profile for that specialty. That might be a one-time thing. But maybe because I have 3 different specialties, one of my active strategies will be each month or each quarter, I'm going to switch out my profile write-up to a different specialty. Or I might switch my zip codes once a month, or I might update my photo every quarter, or something like that. So that's an active strategy on a passive one. So there's lots of different things you can do to market your practice. There are some essentials like having a good website, having your networking ongoing, and really identifying your niches, yeah? And then there's things you can experiment with. So this is the other thing I like to think about when I'm thinking about my marketing strategy for next year, is experimenting. What are things I want to experiment with? And I'm going to decide whether I like them or not. One of my experiments a few years ago was TikTok, and it went really well and I enjoyed it. Now it had some downsides that I would need to mitigate if I did it again, but I found that I didn't need it because my caseload was full. But I enjoyed it enough and it worked well enough that I know that it's something I would return to in the future if I wanted to actively market my practice again. So it's something on my experimenting list this year, where I'm going to allow myself to experiment with it, learn a little bit about it because it's changed since I did it last time, and kind of just see how it goes. And I'm going to decide whether or not it's a good fit for me. And that's the thing about the experimenting pieces, is that, take some time to explore, learn, and attempt a certain marketing strategy, and then evaluate it. Do you enjoy doing it? Is it getting traction? How do you define what is working, and is it working? So, excuse me. That's how I like to write mine up. It's not like formal. It's literally just on a sheet of paper. Sometimes I get like a big, poster board sheet of paper, and I'll like map it all out that way. But honestly, it's however you want to do it. The last thing I'll say is keep it simple, right? Sometimes what we can do is put everything on there, and then we try to do everything all at once, right? Once you have these things outlined, then it's a matter of figuring out which ones you're going to do in what order and at what frequency. And so, I encourage you to keep it simple. Keep your essential marketing strategies that on the list, and then look at how that maps onto your week. And then if there's maybe one you're experimenting with, right? I wouldn't take on too many new things at once, because that can get really overwhelming. Try one new thing. So let's say that you already have your directories and your website, and you're going to make some tweaks to that, and you're doing networking on a semi-regular basis, and you're going to, keep following up on that, and you want to try something new. Maybe you want to try blogging. Give it some time. Learn about it, explore it, experiment with it, see how you like it, and then decide if it's something you're going to continue to do or not. So, and you can do that with different strategies and see what works for you. I need to go because I'm going to cough again, but I hope that was helpful. And let me know how it's going with creating a marketing plan for next year. Bye, everyone.